Hi Vinyl community, it's Mike the Vinyl Spiral here, and today's video is my response to a thread posted by Kostis, and his channel is legopaidi. I'll leave a link in the description, and it's about the awful Greek train crash that happened at the end of February. Over 100 people, mainly young people apparently, lost their lives in this awful crash, and the establishment, including the media in Greece, is trying to blame one individual rail worker for this whole crash. But as Kostis points out, it's about public utilities being privatised so that capital can make profits, and these profits are often made at the expense of people's lives. Profit is everything. People's lives mean nothing to these people. And to make matters worse, he says that the Greek media is covering up the real reason for this. They're going along with the story that it's one individual and his negligence that is to blame for this awful crash. Anyway, Kostis can explain it a lot better than I can. So if you're really interested, go over to his video and you'll find out exactly what happened. Anyway, he wanted us to post three records, to show three records. And the first one is a record with a song about trains in it. And this is in tribute to the people who lost their lives. And I've gone for this album. This is Culture, Come Below. It's an album from 1979. It's a reggae album. And it has Culture's version of the famous gospel song, This Train. I think it's a fitting tribute because it's a very uplifting, positive song. And broadly speaking, and I'm sure you know the lyrics anyway, this train carries righteous people. This train carries innocent people. The people not on the train are the liars, the backbiters, the false pretenders, the wrongdoers. These people are not on the train, because that's how it is. The victims are always the innocent people who are trampled over in the pursuit of profit. So there you go. That's a tribute to those who lost their lives. Now, the second album, or the second song he wants us to show, is one that is anti-government. And I've chosen this. It's not just anti-government. This is a song about a particular person. It's called Tramp the Dirt Down. Again, I'm sure many of you will know this song. And it's about Margaret Thatcher. It's, I think, fitting that Margaret Thatcher's name should be mentioned here, because she was the architect. Her and her government in the 1980s in the UK were the architects of what's happening today all around the world. That she decided to sell off public utilities, the railways. She sold off social housing stock, and it was all done in the name of profit. And now we find that everything that she sowed, all the seeds that she sowed, are being well and truly reaped now by ordinary people. Now, this song was controversial at the time because Elvis Costello is singing about wanting to make sure that he lives long enough to see Margaret Thatcher's death so that he could stand on her grave laughing and tramping the dirt down. And I think this is appropriate. Margaret Thatcher was an absolutely dreadful person. And, by selling off all the social housing, now young people in this country are forced into the hands of greedy private landlords who rent them substandard accommodation at extortionate prices. Margaret Thatcher took on the trade unions in this country, particularly the mining unions, and unfortunately she won. And as a result, communities across the whole of the north of England were absolutely devastated when the mine shut, and no thought was given to actually replacing those jobs in the mines with anything else. And these communities are still suffering to this day. These are the communities that the Tory government now are pretending that they care about. And the railways as well, the railways were privatised for profit. And safety standards go to the wall because, who wants to spend money on safety if you can make a little bit more profit? This is the way that these people think. Profit is everything. So this song, Tramp the Dirt Down, it was controversial. And by the way, in 2013, when Margaret Thatcher finally did die, there were many people who rejoiced at that. There were various street parties, and the media told us that this was absolutely dreadful, that these were dreadful people rejoicing at the death of an individual. Well, in Margaret Thatcher's case, it was well deserved and completely understandable. So that's Tramp the Dirt Down, an anti-government song. And finally, Kostis would like us to show a band that are anti-establishment. Well, I'm going to show these guys. One of my favourites, the Sleaford Mods. This is Andrew Fearn and Jason Williamson. And this is their album from 2019. And appropriately enough, it's called Eton Alive. And the Eton, of course, referred to is the private school where so many of our politicians, including prime ministers, have been educated. Now, Boris Johnson was educated at Eton. David Cameron before him was educated at Eton. George Osborne, who was the Chancellor of the Exchequer and instituted austerity to hit the working classes, he was from Eton. Now, just to put this into context, the fees for Eton College at the moment are around £46,000 per year. The average salary in this country is 28,000. So you can see there's a great disparity here. And Sleaford Mods are always on the side of the right people. They're on the right side of the argument. They do a lot to support particularly sort of homeless charities. And whenever I've been to their gigs, they always allow charity collections within the crowd. So, they're all round sort of good guys, Sleaford Mods, and anti-establishment in the sense that they're on the right side of the argument. And I just show you the sleeve to this album because I don't know if you can see that, but instead of the normal blurb that you might get, there's a list here of website addresses of various charities in case you want to donate to them or indeed help them out in any way you can. So there you go, that's the Sleaford Mods. They're my anti-establishment choice. So, as I say, if you want to find out more about the background to the Greek train crash, go over to Kostis' site and you can see it all there. So until next time, goodbye everybody.